in what better day and in what better way than to sort of kick this event off than to remind everyone why we're all here in the first place. On this most auspicious day, roughly 400 years ago, a man named Guy Fawkes attempted to blow up Parliament in England. And whilst his act, he may not have been successful in his act, it was his message that was remembered. His goal was symbolic. It was to remind the people that the government exists to serve them, not to rule over them. And here we are in 2021, almost half a millennium later, fighting the same fight, perhaps against an arguably more vicious foe. Only this time, we don't need to blow up any buildings. I mean, some people may have wanted to blow this stupid building up because they couldn't find a place. But that aside, this time we have the ultimate tool, the ultimate weapon, and the ultimate symbol. Bitcoin does what no other force has done before. It rips the ace out of the sleeve that all governments throughout history have had. And they've used that to gain an upper hand over their citizenry. It's been their mechanism of control, it's been their mechanism of parasitism, and of literally baking moral hazard into the grand game of life. I assume everyone knows what I'm talking about. It is the money. By taking it outside of the reach of any of us, whether government, institution, organization, foundation, or bank of any kind, what it does is it sets the stage for a true equality of opportunity. And in fact, it's the only equality of opportunity that actually matters and that actually counts. Like it's a scorecard that we all play by. And with that, we have the potential for a prospering of the commons. And I don't think that's something that's ever existed before, and people need to sort of remember why that's so important. You know, Bitcoin isn't some, I like to sort of make fun of these idiots, but, it's not a new financial product like the morons on Wall Street, or scammers like Raoul Pal would like to have you believe. Nor is it like another transient fourth turning, piece that's, cyclical in nature, like the dumbasses who wrote that book want you to believe. Bitcoin is so much deeper than I think what any of us can imagine. And my guess is that Satoshi knew that somewhere deep inside. So this quote from him in 2010, it's like, sorry to be a wet blanket, but writing a description of Bitcoin for general audience is bloody hard. There's nothing to relate it to. So I feel like he knew that deep inside. So Bitcoin is like it's like a step change in how humanity will operate. For the first time in history, we actually have a map that represents the territory in high fidelity, or like a scorecard that is actually measurable for the first time. So when you perform work, when you expend energy and you do stuff, it actually relates to something, not just someone pushing a button behind a computer screen and printing stuff out of thin air. To me, Bitcoin is like an energy and time, or a time and energy superconductor. And I don't know if John Cavallo's in here, but it's a battery. Fuck you. I'm kidding. I love you. But seriously, Bitcoin transforms or enables economic and behavioral feedback loops and human coordination across time and space in a way that's never, ever, ever before been achieved. And, oh shit, I shouldn't show that one yet. In a way that's never before been achieved. So I kind of think of it, and I'm writing an article about this now, I kind of think of it as our ticket or our key through the great filter, if anyone's sort of familiar with that terminology. And I believe we need to remember that. We need to remember it because we're surrounded by enemies on all sides. Now, you'll know why that slide is up. So, whether those enemies are shitcoiners, whether they're Silicon Valley soy boys, whether they're the Silicon Valley VCs who back the soy boys, whether they're the bankers, the wankers, the governments, the media, the intelligentsia, the fucking midwits, the eco-terrorists, like literally, even seriously, you can't make this up, right? Like, cartoon character supervillains cosplaying Dr. Evil. Like, they all hate Bitcoin from like the depths of the soul that doesn't exist in their bodies. They hate it because it removes their capacity to feed like the parasites that they are. And I know some people might call these people elites, and I'm on a crusade to change that terminology, that phraseology. Like, you cannot like designate elite to a parasite because, you know, the word elite implies you're exceptional at something. I mean, I don't think these guys are exceptional at anything other than stealing from people. But I mean, even that they kind of suck at because we can see it in plain sight, right? So for me, hold on, let's keep our Lord on the screen. For me, like, Bitcoin represents something that these people hate because it obsoletes their very reason for existence. Now, we all love Bitcoin because we understand that it levels the playing field and it allows for that which is good and functional to prevail, whilst that which is broken or corrupt or fraudulent really has two options: to either correct, which is a good thing, or to just disappear altogether. And I mean, for us, and I mean, I know this is true for me in the world, and for me in the Bitcoin space, and hopefully for all of you, it's like Bitcoin is a way we find meaning in life. And through Bitcoin, we have the capacity to bring about a time in human history that is once again worth remembering. So that reminds me of this quote, which I'm not going to say the Latin thing because I'm going to make an idiot out of myself. But this is a Faustian quote which Evie Hammond finds in V's dresser during the movie. Out of curiosity, how many people have seen V for Vendetta? Hopefully everyone. Oh, okay, thank Christ, I'm in a Bitcoin room. So it says, by the power of truth, I, while living, have conquered the universe. So I believe Bitcoin is our subjective and objective truth. And with it, we have the opportunity to not only, you know, get through the great filter, but to actually conquer our universe in our way. So, So we have a couple of days ahead of us at this conference, which Mike and the team and everyone have put together. I found out yesterday this is the third time this conference is on. Clearly, I know my history. So I want everyone, I implore everyone to make the most of it. There's going to be some fantastic speakers. There is going to be a series of, I think they're calling them villages. I don't know why they call them villages. Should have called them citadels. God damn it. That's like, the meme was right there. Mini citadels. There's villages. There's like, you know, I heard there's like places to do some work as well. And then there's going to be some great speakers and panels, etc. So make the most out of the time we have here, because I guess it's our job to not just talk and philosophize about this stuff, but to actually take steps toward making that truth that Bitcoin represents a reality. And the good part about it is that every step we take towards that is another step we take towards making obsolete the parasites that I kind of mentioned before. So, remember, today is the 5th of November, the Atlanta Bitcoin conference and hackathon and villages and shit. I know of no reason why the TABConf should ever be forgot. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you for listening to my TED Talk.